You know shit's getting real when I bust out notes because I did not come here to play today. Hey guys, welcome back. We're here to talk about episode 2 of the Black Dagger Brotherhood show. And to start off, it starts off with one of the worst characters. Not worse in like he's badly written or anything. He is just an asshole. I hate that man with every fiber of my goddamn being. It's very much one of those Tamlin situations where it's like, oh, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, he can't be that bad. And then you get further into the series and you realize it is that fucking bad. And if J.R.R. Ward were to ever give him a redemption arc, I still would fucking hate him. It's like Severus Snape with me. Neither of them deserve a fucking redemption arc, and that's my full stance and all I have to say about that asshole right now. Havers, you're a bitch and I fucking hate you. This episode was very information heavy. You get a lot of information into what's going to happen to Beth. We get information on a little bit of Wrath's backstory, which is really, really nice. The chemistry between the Wrath and Beth, the actors, even the characters themselves, is off the fucking charts. If you thought it was really good in episode 1, it's fucking phenomenal in episode 2. When they open up to where they left off with Wrath and Beth, they literally, he's touching her face and he calls her beautiful and they're so touchy-feely and it's just like they're so relaxed around each other already, even though they don't fucking know each other. And he even tells her like this wasn't supposed to be a part of it, but it sure as shit was, Wrath. And I highly suggest reading the series, not because the show's lacking in any way, but because you get a lot more context and inner monologue from them both, especially Wrath, because Wrath has a severe inner conflict with himself about the future of Beth and his future. He's very much like, I'm gonna get her through her transition and like, we're donezo. Like, I don't want anything to do with this. I don't want a Shellin. Like, I don't want any of that. I have my life set. I have my purpose. This is what I'm gonna do. And like, you can kind of see it on his face. The actor does a very, very good job of portraying Wrath's feelings in these situations. It's just, the book gives you a little more oomph for it. You get what I'm saying? But they did amazing. The forehead kiss on the fucking sidewalk, I believe it was. The fucking forehead kiss took me out. Fucking chef's kiss. And then I posted a video about it earlier when they're on the sidewalk and he's like, you don't know this yet, but you're mine. Beth is a better fucking person than me because my knees would have hit that fucking sidewalk so fast. Oh my god. See, Beth has self-respect. I apparently fucking don't. And then my baby boy Rage made an appearance. Now, he's the one that I would be so critical for because he is my favorite out of that whole series. Every single book, every time he comes on, love him. He's hilarious. He's witty. He's a very multifaceted, well, maybe not multifaceted, but like he's a very multi-dimensional character. Like, he puts on this front of being very nonchalant and very, he doesn't care. But then he has these little moments where you can tell like he wants more out of his life. But there's a reason why his life is the way it is. And hopefully we'll get a season 2 and you could get more into that because that would be his book. But I'm very, very pleased with how this gorgeous human being has portrayed my favorite fucking character. I said I didn't care how he looked. I'm perfectly fine with how he looks. How the character looks, like eyes, the hair, I'm very pleased with that. But I said if he wasn't funny, if he wasn't hilarious, if he didn't give off that smart ass like you really want to fucking hit him but you can't because you laughed, I was gonna riot. I probably wouldn't have finished watching the show. But he did an amazing job so far. Just the facial expressions and the very much like when he gets, Wrath is like fucking putting a dagger into the wall next to his head and he's very much like, well shit, like maybe I took it too far. And then the brothers all walk in and they're like, are you starting shit again? He's like everybody knows how he is and it's fucking hilarious and I want to see so much more of him and I'm so excited. And we need season 2 because we just do, because if you think I'm unbearable now, when he gets his own season, it's going to be 100 times worse, because all it is going to be being fucking feral for this man, okay? Fair warning. There was a very poignant, I guess you would say the word is, scene in this episode, and that's when Wrath and V take the civilian vampire who was killed by Mr. X to his family. That scene was very important, to me at least, because it shows the devastation that the Lessers are doing to the vampires, and Wrath sees it firsthand, and he's their monarchy. Like, he's their monarch, he's their king, but he feels like he can do more fighting, and he sees the devastation and the grief and everything. And when it shows his face, when it pans to the actor's face, it's blank. Like, he's not trying to show emotion in the situation. But as the family comes out and he sees the mother weeping and grieving over her son's dead body, like, his mask cracks, and you just see sadness and agony for him, seeing his people suffering. And then it pans away to the family grieving again, and V holding the body to the mother. And then it pans back to him, and it's just fucking anger. He's angry that he feels like he can do more, and this justifies why he's not leading his people, because they need him on the streets fighting for him. And just my greatest setback for this was if they could not portray the emotions that fit the scene, but they are doing very, very well, to me at least, in portraying how these guys feel about what they do. Do they like what they do? Probably not, because they're there because they need to protect their people, and the fact that they still are fighting is just very soul-wrenching for them. They do this because they have to, not because they want to. And that scene just really, really drives that point home, is that they were bred for this, and they just want to see their people thrive. They don't want them to be in danger anymore for something that had nothing to do with them. It's very high level creation in their religion and stuff. You get more into it and later on in the series and stuff, but that scene was very, very important, because it shows that these guys just aren't all buff and bluster and brawn and no brains or emotions. Like, these guys feel deep emotions, but they hide them because they kind of have to, and that's sad to see. Another important scene in this already is when Wrath is explaining to Beth that what's going on with her dad. Her dad knew her. He didn't want her to go through the change, because he didn't want her to be put in danger by becoming a vampire, because it's very dangerous with the Lessening Society trying to exterminate them all, and he just didn't want that for her. And she was very upset when she found out that he was living in the same city as her. He was like right there to go and talk to her when she got older and stuff. And Wrath was like, Fritz told me that your father loved you very much. And her response was just heartbreaking, because she was pretty much like, well, why didn't he want me then? Do you know how sad that is? And knowing that Beth is such a strong person. Beth is smart as fuck. Beth is very, very, very intelligent. And to see her so broken like that, to feel so unwanted, was just heartbreaking. And you know it broke Wrath's heart, because he even says, like, he can't fight this for her. There's nothing for him to fight. She has to feel these things. And it just proves that Beth had Wrath around her little finger from the fucking get-go. She tells him to stop, he fucking stopped. She tells him, shut up. He's like, he shuts the fuck up. He probably didn't like it, and he doesn't know why he's listening to her, but he listens to her, and that there's a reason for that. And they'll get into it maybe the next episode or the episode after that, but you'll start understanding why Wrath is becoming very, very attached to Beth so fast. And it's like kind of cute, kind of like fated mates type of trope. It's gonna be amazing to see, and I really, really, really hope they do it well, which they have been, so I have high hopes about it. I don't know if I said this in my last review of the episode 1, but we're gonna say it in episode 2 either way, is the show gives me very much Blade vibes. And it's probably the way it's being shot, like the aerial views of the city, and I'm all here for that because I love me some Blade, and you know, I just love vampires in the long run, and when they're done right, they're done right. And that very much it very much gives me Blade vibes, very, very much so. And for me, that's a hell of a compliment. Like, if you can kind of capture the whole aura or essence of Blade, you're fucking doing something right. The chemistry between Beth and Butch is fucking amazing. Beth and Butch have very good chemistry, and I feel like if Wrath wasn't in the picture, they very much would have ended up together. Even though Beth looks at Butch, and once again, she's a very intelligent woman. She's very observant, just like Butch. Butch does not get enough credit for how smart that motherfucker is. He is so smart, but because he's very much a bruiser and, like I said, very rough around the edges, he does not get credit for that. He is clever. He is intelligent. Just like Beth, he is very observant. He sees how she reacts to certain things, and he's very much like, that's weird. Why are you acting that way? He does not get the credit he fucking deserves for that. He really doesn't, and he needs to. And the actor who portrays Butch does a phenomenal job. Does a phenomenal job portraying that once again. He shows, like, Butch is not dumb. Butch knows Wrath is dangerous. I mean, obviously, by the dude's size and when he strips him of all his weapons, and Butch is not dumb. So, yeah, I feel like him and Beth would have been a good match if Wrath wasn't in the picture. Let's get into Mr. X. The Lessening Society is a society that was created by the Omega as a direct reaction to the Scribe Virgin creating the vampires. He was not granted the gift of creation like the Scribe Virgin was, so he has to give away pieces of himself to create these monsters, pretty much. They're fucking monsters. But the actor, played by this awesome human being, I mean, he portrays a villain very fucking well, okay? And he gives off such a creepy, scary aura that Mr. X should give off. This man is violence personified. He does not care. He does not care. And the way he can show Mr. X smiling at you should be very pleasant looking. He has nailed the fucking dead eyes. He nailed the dead eyes. This man has contacts in, and he's smiling at you, and there is nothing there. Nothing there. No emotion. He can say, I'm so happy to see you, and that smile will not reach his eyes. And that's fucking glorious, because that's how it should be. These are soulless people, or not even people anymore. These men who are being inducted into the Lessening Society, they're soulless. Nothing is there. So hopefully they get more into that and more details. And he talks about when he shoots the civilian vampire, and he's like, oh, like, pretty much like, we're gonna have fun during interrogation. People are not ready for what the interrogations are. And I'm sure they're gonna be very, very toned down in the show, but in the books, it is horrific what they plan to do. They're interrogations, but they're very, very violent. I don't know if TikTok will let me say it. They're intense. Like I said, it's going to be very, very dialed down in the show, but they pretty much torture these poor civilian vampires. It's torture. And the interrogations lead further into the story, but I don't know if people are ready to watch that. Like I said, they're definitely going to tone it down. Just be prepared for that whole story arc, pretty much, of the interrogations, because it's a rough one. I don't have to go into detail about this because all of us in the BDB world already know this. Fritz is adorable, and I would fucking die for him. He deserves the world. Another thing that I really enjoyed with how they made the show was the fangs, because you could either do them very well or very, very wrong. And I was actually pretty happy with how it came out, because they didn't look cheap. For lack of a better way to say this, it did not look cheap. It looked like they put time and effort into making the fangs, like when Wrath's fangs dropped down to show Beth, like, no, vampires are real. I was very pleased because I was very worried that it was going to not be it. It was going to be either cheesy or not very well done, but it was. It came very much Interview with a Vampire things, the way they grow down. Not like True Blood, because True Blood's kind of like flip, but very much Interview with a Vampire where you could kind of see them growing, but very well done. I like the way that they're like the elements of the show, like not the story itself, but like the way it's being shot, the lighting, the makeup, the costumes and stuff like that. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Wigs could be a little better, but all in all, I can get past the wigs. It's done so well. The setting is pretty much how I pictured it in the book. It is so good. I wish they would play more with the lighting to I wish they would use lighting to establish mood. That's what I'm looking for. I wish they would use lighting more to establish mood like they did with the Beth and Wrath sex scene and like the after effects. And like I do like the way they use the lighting to play on Wrath's face, because the actor has a very sharp face. Like his cheekbones, sharp as fuck. Jawline, chiseled. And I like the way they play with the lighting to portray, like, is he pissed off? Is he upset? Is he sad? When he's pissed off and they shine that light to cast his face into shadows, chef's kiss. I love when shows and movies play with lighting, and I like that. I just wish they would do more of that. So hopefully they do. If not, I mean, it doesn't take anything away from it. It's just like something I enjoy when I watch something. So the production, amazing, awesome. All in all, this show, very information heavy. It's a 7 out of 10 for me. Not that it was bad, it's just because fucking Haver's bitch ass was in it. And I know he's gonna be in it more. It's just I fucking hate him. So, but yeah. And it, like I said, it was very information heavy. It didn't feel info dumpy, but there was some action, but it was definitely more of a slower episode if you were expecting hella action. And that's not the case in here. You get some of it, but not a whole lot, because I mean, we need expose, we need information, we need backstory. But all in all, very much enjoyed it. Still holding up to my expectations. Can't wait for next week. Maybe I'll take more notes. Maybe I'll just yap away like I did in this last episode. But let me know what you guys thought about this episode. What was your favorite part? What was your least favorite part? Keep it cute, keep it respectful in the comments, and let's keep it moving. That's all I got for you today, guys. So stay awesome.